icebreaker questions that are going to make you laugh, or you're not going to have them, because I know she prepared. Come on. Who prepares for an interview like that? Amazing. It makes...
Practice forgiveness.
Wow.
That's important.
Yeah.
Respect each other's individuality. We all are different. You know, you may like a red dress.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, just respect that.
Yeah.
You know,
Right at the podcast Being Man, as I learn to be a man. Understanding the time, lessons and patience inquired to be a 10. A series of compass insights of the journey for a different turn. Being Man, where rivers of the mind flow to give a damn. A movement with river flows, so I be a bailer I can. All stones are turned, all souls affirmed. Right at the podcast Being Man. All stones are turned, all souls affirmed. Welcome to Being Man.
Hello there and welcome to another one. I said hello you because this is not about the person that I'm sitting next to. This is about you, the viewer, you, the listener, and a massive shout out to everyone that has been faithful ever since we started. Guess what? We just celebrated 1 year of consistent uploads every Sunday 9 p.m. and I thank you, because if it wasn't for you, this wouldn't be happening. And ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tatenda. For those that do not know me, for the guys that are in the States, I think. The States, they say howdy mate. In Australia, they say good day mate. In where I come from, if you don't know where I come from, it's really say. And the person that is next to me is a beautiful lady who is all full of smiles, and she was nervous.
most definitely, Coach, that's extremely nervous.
Ladies and gentlemen, meet Mrs. Jessie Govender.
Thank you, Coach.
And people go, yay! Welcome! Anyway, thank you so much for taking your time to be on the M.A.N podcast. I believe the M.A.N podcast it stands for matured, available nature. And I believe that you're mature enough to avail yourself, because you're a very busy woman, to then come here to nurture the person that is watching or the person that is listening, to make sure that they become the best version of themselves. So you are a legend.
Thank you, Coach, for those kind words, and thank you for the opportunity.
Awesome stuff.
It's a real privilege to be part of your M.A.N podcast.
Awesome. And when someone asks M.A.N podcast, they will think that maybe it's just for man, the gender. And that's not the case, because I believe that both male and female, they have to be matured enough so that society becomes one tangible thing, or society becomes one healed state. Mental health is a real thing, and a lot of people coming from lockdown as well, they have been struggling with finances, marriage, you name it. And for us to have people like you that are saying, I'm going to be here to speak about whatever that is in your mind, in your experience, that means a lot to me, most especially. So thank you.
Thank you again, Coach. That's
Awesome stuff. Jess, you know, when you're about to interview someone, you say, okay, I'm going to interview Jessie Govender. And the first question will be, who's that? So my first question would be, who is Jess, before we get into the game that we do, so that you can calm down, because I know you're nervous.
does the laugh get away?
And guess what? Jess sent me a message earlier, and she says, "Whew, I'm so nervous, Coach. I've never been this nervous ever since I wrote my examinations." So don't stress. It's just chilled. But for now, who is Jess?
Okay. Firstly, Jessie Govender is a KwaZulu-Natal girl. She completed her junior school in Durban, later moved to Pietermaritzburg to complete a high school and tertiary education. After my tertiary education, I was in the furniture business, where I worked for 6 years, and during that time, I had met my amazing husband M.A.N, who is my greatest pillar of strength.
Son. I could be crying now, and M.A.N is listening and watching this and going, oh, baby. Yeah.
Coach Stats, it gets a little better after that. While I met my husband, we had a fantastic time together, and I lost all independence when I decided to get engaged on the 4th of July.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
It gets even better because we finally got married on 9/11. So,
Oh wow. 4th of July. That is Independence Day in America. Yes.
And 9th of
Wow. September is when the
9/11.
catastrophe happened. Wow.
Yeah. So we've got a good history together, and after we tying the knot, 12 years later, my amazing son was born, Joshua. Well, he is my pride and joy, and I've climbed through the ladders of the corporate, and now
awesome.
I teach yoga, a businesswoman, if I would put it that way.
Before we get to all that, and it's gonna be a shout out again to Josh, because that boy is something special, and I'm gonna touch back on him later. But we've known who Jess is. Jess is a mom, Jess is a wife, Jess is a businesswoman, Jess is a friend, a sister, you name it, okay? But before we get into in-depth of who Jess is and what she does and what makes her tick, I've got a few questions, icebreaker questions that are gonna make you laugh, or you're not gonna have them, because I know she prepared. Come on. Who prepares for an interview like that? Amazing. It makes me, it actually gives me that motivation that, wow, I am special, or I'm important for someone to prepare 3 pages, 4 pages for what we're going to speak about. That's
you are special, Coach Stats.
Do you think I'm special?
Most definitely.
Okay, first question just is, what is the one thing that you've started doing of late that you were not doing before, but it's of benefit? You're feeling the benefit of it.
Okay, I would say is, letting go.
Wow.
There's a lot of things that you can't control. And I'm going to use a simple example. We are on load shedding. There's nothing we can do about load shedding. We've just got to accept it and move on. The robots are not working.
Yeah.
We can't blame the person in front of us for not moving. It's not his fault. It's beyond our control. We've just got to go along with the traffic and just let go.
Wow. Wow.
That has been my biggest
wow.
letting go.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And
wow.
it makes me feel good, and I'm positive about it because there's nothing I can change.
Exactly. Which is true. There's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah.
Yes, you can post on Facebook and say this, we don't have power for 10 hours and whatnot. But well, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is because you can't change it.
Exactly. Second question, what book are you currently reading? Are you a reader?
I'm a very good reader. That has been one of my hobbies. My reading time is between 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm awake at all parts of the night. My current book that I'm reading is one of Daniel Steele, and I've got 3 books at my shelf at the moment. One is a spiritual book, and the other one is a motivational book.
So you're reading 2 books at the same time?
3.
Yes, at the same time. At the same time.
At the same time.
Wow. Just you're amazing. Wow. And I was thinking that, I'm a good reader. But I always want to finish one before I move on to the next one. And here you are.
No, I was like that when I was at school, Coach. I could read a book a day. And I remember when I was in primary school, the librarian had told me, you've got 2 weeks to read a book. And you can only return it after 2 weeks because in a week I read 5. And I think she just got tired of me. Come to the library.
Smart. What is your most irrational fear? What are you so scared of?
My irrational fear is failing because I am a perfectionist and failing is my biggest fear.
Wow. No wonder you're so nervous with this.
No, fear.
Wow. Okay.
But I know, like I said earlier on, I need to let go, and I have let go. So this is a work in progress.
True. I think as adults or as people, we grow every day. That's why there's a saying that goes, "Men grow as every day." So makes sense. The last one. What is the one thing that you suck at? You're so bad at it. Like, jeez, I can't help it.
Public speaking.
Really?
I am terrible at public speaking. I try to write a speech before, go through it, put in a sense of humor. Public speaking is not my number one.
Wow. Do you get nervous? Do you get scared?
Extremely nervous, extremely scared because, as I said earlier, Coach Tats, I'm a perfectionist. And, you know, by not doing my best, because public speaking is really not my best, but I do try. I do try a lot. Recently, I've volunteered. I've put my hand up for speeches at birthdays, functions, weddings. So I'm getting there.
It's surprising because Jess, you never keep quiet. I'll be like, no, this is the best person to have as an MC at a party or an event because we're always going to be laughing. And here you are saying, I'm scared of it. Like, wow.
Public speaking is really not one of my strong points.
Wow. So Jess, those are the icebreaker questions that we had. And I believe the reason why is so that we warm the room. This is your room, and shout out to Jessica and Marlon for allowing us into their space. Thank you. Beautiful space, by the way, very clean. Those were the icebreaker questions. So you jumped into, you met on the February the 4th. Then
July 4th.
You got engaged July the 4th.
Yes, Independence Day.
Yes, then you got married on
9th of September.
Was this
11th of
September? Yes, 9/11.
9/11.
What was this coincidence, or this is how you guys had planned it? Or it just happened?
It just happened. It was, just go with the flow, and this is what we wanted, but I never realized till later on how important those days were. Wow. And considering 9/11, we all know the disaster.
Yeah.
And this year, Marlon and I will be married for 24 years. So.
Gee whiz, guys. Let's jump in. 24 years. How do you stay alive, and how has he been alive for 24 years?
Marlon and I have got a great relationship. We respect each other. Both of us are not perfect. We've got our faults, but we need to overlook a lot of those things.
Yeah.
And having said that, communication is very key. We speak about a lot of things, but I must admit, I'm a woman. My hormones sometimes get onto the rise, and I get angry.
Yeah.
But I calm myself down, and I am very blessed to have Marlon as my husband. And if I should relive my life, I would still choose him as my husband.
Oh man, that's super sweet. Is there any truth or relevance to you can't have two of the same as a couple and it won't work? Why I say so is Marlon is super reserved. Like super reserved. For those that know him, they can testify that Marlon is very quiet, and Jess is the one that's
extrovert.
So is that part of the formula to a successful marriage? Because 24 years is quite a long time.
Coach Tess, at one stage I did believe opposites do attract, but I think Marlon and I, it's a relationship, it's marriage that's made in heaven. And it's all, the putting of the divine. It has all worked the way the divine.
It's supposed to work.
It's supposed to work.
Yeah.
And I believe that Marlon is the man for me and I am the woman for
him. And
I truly believe that. And that is why we are still together. We've been married for 24 years. Previous to that, we know each other for another 4 years.
Jeez,
so it's like 27 years.
That's almost 30 years of being in each other's life. That's a lifetime on its own.
That's on its own.
And you still can choose the same person
over again.
Because over and above being lovebirds, you're friends and you're close. You are each other's missing part of the puzzle, if I can say.
The other half. The significant other half.
Yeah, definitely. You said you grew up in KZN. At what point did you move to Joburg, and the transition from living in the coast to coming into a very busy, Joburg is busier.
Busy.
You only realize how busy Joburg is when you leave Joburg, or when you get into Joburg coming from another state. That's when you realize that it's very busy. How was the transition for you? And how old were you were you a grown up when you moved to Joburg, or?
No, I was a grown up and I was married at that time as well. So Marlon and I just got married, and it was 6 months into our marriage that we moved in. But I'm the type of person, I would just go with the flow and just jump in. And having said that, Marlon had got a transfer, work related, and I had also got a transfer, so we decided to move up. It was the best thing that could ever happen because now I have no regrets. I just got in and just went to the floor and it was like the best time.
Wow.
There was no regrets. There was, family is a big importance in my life and I'm very family orientated. Everything is about my family.
Yeah, yeah.
But I just got into Joburg and I just enjoyed it. And now, this is 23 years in Joburg. I moved in 2000, January 2000, so it was the start of the new year.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And up to now, I love Joburg.
Wow.
I don't think I will relocate
Ever.
back into KZN.
Ever.
But the divine has its own plans,
Sure,
so
sure.
I'll just go with that. But I just fished to a water.
Yeah, yeah.
Joburg was my place.
Yes, Jess, she completed her tertiary, she did everything in KZN. Your family is in KZN?
My family is in KZN, but part of my tertiary education, I was up here in Joburg. I was studying through UNISA. That's where I got my degree, through UNISA.
I see.
Part-time.
And Jess is an accountant.
Yes, by trade,
By
yes.
trade, yeah. That takes a different kind of human being. And where I'm coming with this question is, Jess is an accountant, qualified accountant, and she decides, you know what, I'm not doing this. I'm going to be a yoga instructor. I'm going to go into yoga. What is yoga in your own way? Because I can explain yoga from my own understanding, but I can never understand yoga from an instructor's perspective. Just like if you ask me what is cricket, I won't give you the same answer that you know as cricket because I'm in that profession. What is yoga?
Okay, the general definition of yoga is the union of the body, mind and soul. So the body, the mind and the soul all needs to be in sync. And once that's in sync, we are happier people. We just live life, and most people do yoga, as I started as well, because of lack of knowledge, to get fit, exercise. We as women, we all want the perfect body.
Yeah.
And we all want to look good at all times.
Definitely, yeah.
So that was to get fit, exercise, and later on I realized, no, it's not just get fit and, it's the union. So you need to have all three functioning as one.
Yeah, yeah.
And I always use the example of a hose. So if there's any leakages in the hose, you're not going to get the best benefit.
Yeah.
Although there's going to be plants around that will get the water, but the hose needs to go to a specific plant, a tree. So that is what yoga is to me. It needs to be all in the correct boundaries, correct balance, and everything needs to be aligned.
Sure. Now when you're speaking about alignment, and I'm thinking in cricket, when you're going forward to drive the ball, you need to make sure that you're aligned with the line of the ball and the bowler's hand and air. So it's amazing how you say it's the three that are in line. Because when I started yoga, my yoga instructor at the time, her name was Maro, she says, you're always coming to gym and you've got your cardio, you've got your strength and whatnot. Do you know that yoga is still equally as good for you? And I'm like, I feel like it's too slow for my liking, because if I'm lifting a 50 kg weight, I'm like, but in yoga, okay, everything is so slow. And then I joined it. Jeepers, I was so stiff the next day.
But Coach Stats, I've got to correct you on that.
Yeah.
It is slow, but it's all about being slow, being in the moment, and breathing.
Okay.
If you're going to do yoga too fast, you're going to hurt yourself. So it's a gentle flow. So you need to be in the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
And you are at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
There's nowhere else to be but on your mat. So you sacrifice that 1 hour, 1.5 hours, just to be in that moment. And you need that me time with you and your mat.
Yeah, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So it's a personal, intimate touch for that 1 hour. And I felt it, because I can testify for it, because I did it for like 2-3 months. And yeah, I would feel my strength as well, especially running and playing on the weekends and all that. I'm like, wow, this actually works.
Now
That's when I then started to understand more about yoga. So I think a lot of people don't have the understanding of what yoga is. They just look at what people are doing and
Yes.
think, oh, that's boring.
Yes, just like me as well. When I first started, I just wanted to get fit. But now, after doing courses and studying, I know the benefits of it. I know why it needs to be slow. because it's all about you and your mat.
Wow.
And even if there's 100 people in the studio, it's just you and your mat.
Yeah.
You don't concentrate on the person next to you, what they're doing,
Do
how
what
they're
you're
doing. It's just you and
Just
your
do
mat.
what you're doing.
You just
That's
do it.
all.
At times it's difficult, but you just persevere.
Yeah.
Because on your first lesson, you're not going to touch your toes.
Yeah, that was tough. Even the handstand. Oh gosh, I was
No,
falling.
you're not going to touch your toes.
Yeah.
But there's other tools that will help you because we've used the blocks, we've used the string, the tie.
Yeah.
There's lots
Who,
of
who is supposed to do yoga? What is it meant? Who is it meant for?
I think yoga is for everyone and anyone.
Yeah.
But my personal opinion, it starts with the children. You've got a better understanding. As most of the guests don't know, but I teach yoga to preschool and creches in my area.
Yeah.
So there's a few that I've got, and I start with the children because they are our future leaders. They need to be present at the moment because in the life that we're living at the moment, it's a tough life, it's a difficult life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's so much of anger, there's so much of craziness out there. So we need to ground ourselves. And if we teach the children at a young age to ground themselves, the values that are installed with them, that goes throughout their lives.
Yes.
So it's like simple things, balance, the benefits, the balance, the posture, healthy eating habits. Those are simple things, but those are great benefits. For
In the
children.
long run.
In
as
the
well.
long run,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And my aim is for every child, you know, when you're in a tough situation, you take a few breaths, you ground yourself, and I'm going to move forward, and this is what I'm going to do.
Wow.
It doesn't matter whether it's the right decision or the wrong decision. There's no right and wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the decision that I'm going to make, and this is the decision that I'm going to live with, and I'm going to do it.
Wow. Wow. You've got so much love and passion when you speak about this. Were you not loving accountancy when you left that corporate world into how long did you practice as an accountant before you left?
Well, I was an accountant like maybe about 20 years.
Jeez,
Yes.
yes,
So
that's a
while I was
lifetime.
studying, that's why
That's
I
a
was
lifetime,
studying.
yeah.
So. I was-
And you just decide, did you hate it or what?
No, I loved it. Even up to now, I love the figures. I love the figures. I help my son with his homework, the maths. My son is great
No, that boy
Maths.
is, that boy is smart, yeah.
math student. But I love accounting. But behind the scenes, the divine was working, which I didn't know. And, you know, there were a few pushes. And I said, but why is this happening? But now I understand. It took me to where I was supposed to be.
Wow.
And I needed to find a purpose in life and a meaningful.
Wow. So would you say this was your purpose in life?
This is my purpose. The divine was always pushing me, but you know, me as a woman, and I speak for myself, I tend to be stubborn.
Yeah.
I don't want to listen because I know best and I know
Sure.
everything.
Sure.
But
Which is
that's
not true.
which I know now, compared to what I know, is actually.
Zero. Yeah.
So the divine was pushing me, and when I left the corporate world, I did yoga, okay, and you know, the divine was still working, and I said the exercise. Now I know my purpose.
Yeah.
And the divine had worked wonders because this is where I'm supposed to be. Because of my passion for children, because I start with children. And that is where, you know, everything else starts. We all start as children.
True.
And the lessons that we learn as children and the values that lives with us throughout. Forever.
That's why whatever values and principles that you instill in Josh now, even if when he's 50 years old, you still want to live by the same principles.
Most definitely.
So
I just know.
start. Yeah, definitely. It's going to.
Thank you, Coach.
I think Josh is one of those kids where you look at that kid and you're like, there's no going wrong here. Honestly speaking, I understand that other kids when they grow up, then they go astray and they do nonsense and whatnot. But you look at that boy and you're like, you know, that boy can travel from the other part of the ground. If he comes to the club, he moves from probably, that's like 500, 600 meters to come across just to come and handshake us as coaches. That takes a special kind of kid.
No.
And when you get there and you're like, hey Josh, how are you? I'm good. Are you done now? Yeah, I'm done. Okay. Like yesterday. Then fine, that's Josh. And I remember you saying to me, and I was telling my wife as well, that I've only heard of one parent that said, my son is so brilliant with his time management. If Josh says he's going to play for an hour, he's going to go play for an hour. After the hour, he comes and he's doing his homework. After his homework, he does whatever chores that he needs to do. From there, he goes to bed or read his book and whatnot. Without fail, left, right, and center. How did you manage such in a child?
It was a challenge, but I knew when I was pregnant with Josh that he was going to be a special child. He was going to be a very special child. And I had a few dreams, there was a few thoughts, and there's something that I'm going to share that's very personal, and a lot of people don't know this. Josh had come very late into our marriage. And I felt pregnant, and one night I had a dream, and this child had come in front of me, and he had told me, I'm going to be your son, and I want to be named Joshua.
You're joking.
No jokes.
Wow.
And Joshua, I'm from a Hindu background, family, religion. Joshua is not a Hindu name.
It's not. It's a Christian name.
It's
actually.
a Christian name.
Yeah.
And we decided, my husband and I, M.A.N, we decided, okay, let's go with Joshua. And
Wow.
so I knew he was going to be a very special child. And the name, those are the Christians, those who are Christians know the biblical
foundations
of.
Yeah.
And I knew he was going to be special, and M.A.N and I, throughout his childhood, well, he's still a child, we focused on making him the best version of himself. And we know he's going to have a great future, whether it's cricket, academic, whatever.
Yeah.
He is going to be where he's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
Even at 19, if he decides, Mom, I'm going to go to the Himalayas and spend the rest of my life there.
That's okay.
That's fine with
And
me. That's fine
you've
with
got the
M.A.N.
confidence that he's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah. So there is Jess. She is a yoga teacher, and there is Jess. You struggled to, you got Josh at a later part of your marriage. There is Jess, she's been married for 24 years. There is Jess that's living corporate for 20 years. There is Jess that is working with kids, right? And where I'm coming with this is, how do you balance all that mental health wise to make sure that you are the best version for that Jess at home? For Mrs. Govender, Josh's mom, and teacher or instructor or accountant, how do you manage that from a mental health perspective? Because someone can be listening to this and they're like, geez, Jess has got it all figured out. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, geez, she's a Wonder Woman. How do you still be able to wake up with a smile on your face? I promise you there's not even a single day that I've seen you grumpy. And I've known so many people around cricket, and you can tell that, they're having a bad day. And they'll come to me and say, Tats, today is not it's one of those days. Yet here you are, you're always in high spirit, and you always inspire, even when you come to me and I'm feeling down. Your smile, your laugh, Coach Tats, after you leave, like, wow, she had a positive impact. That takes someone with mental health capabilities or strength. How do you do that?
Coach Tats, I read a lot, and as much as I love my son and my husband, we are a good family together, we also need our time apart. So Josh loves his cricket. I've got my kids in the morning, I do my classes, I come back home, I see to Josh, we pick him up, we've got a good family relationship, we do things together, we are always positive. And we always strive to be the best version of ourselves.
Yeah.
And the values we read a lot of spiritual books, we read a lot of motivational books. We are there to always, motivate each other. We are human, we have our bad days.
Yeah.
But there's always between the three of us, there's always one that always lifts us
Lifts
up.
her, no.
Listen, yeah.
Do you ever get, English was going there. Do you ever get days whereby you wake up and you are not in the mood? Like you have no motivation?
Oh no, that never happens.
Wow.
That never happens. There are days when I do get upset, but I wake up because I know my purpose. The divine has defined my purpose.
Yeah.
So I know my purpose and I have to give the best version of myself to everyone that I meet.
Yeah.
And it starts with my kids.
Jeez.
My kids are my biggest inspiration.
Wow.
My biggest inspiration.
Wow. That's too deep. Jess comes to me a few months ago and says, Coach Tats, I've got this idea for yoga. Because we always use yoga for fitness, we always use yoga for getting or to be better versions of ourselves or to be more fitter, for lack of a better word. Yet you come to me and you say, I'm starting this program for couples. And now it makes sense that you are coming up with such an initiative, yet you've been married for 24 years. So not only are you bringing the yoga onto the plate, but also your experience in marriage and in union with the same person over the past 24 years. Take me through what is your idea, because when you came to me and you told me about it, immediately I said, come to the podcast, Jess. Surely there's someone out there that will want you, because I may not be in a position to take you to my church to the couples. Maybe they're not going to buy it, but then someone in my listeners list is definitely going to buy into it. I definitely am buying into it because one, I love you as my friend. Two, you are an inspiration to me. And whenever you bring advice, I will take it with 3 hands. Like if I had 68 hands, I would do that. Take me through, what is that yoga for couples? What is it called? Is that even the right name for it?
Yes. Coach, a few steps back, okay. You know, our world, we are living in a rat race. And sometimes the parents just don't have time for themselves. Because in the morning it's wake up, the kids to school, the work, it's very stressful. And most of the couples, the only time they most probably even have a chat, not even like a 5-minute chat, is when they're going to bed. And they are so exhausted. Yeah, there's no mean time. But with yoga, couples yoga, you've got that 1 hour, 1.5 hours just to be together. You know, you balance yourself, there's stretches, there's moves, you depend on each other. And also it's a trust issue and you have that communication between the partners,
yeah.
The partners that's coming. And sometimes it's like a hidden communication, you know, a simple look at each other, a smile, a touch. And coming back to a touch, it has been proven in one of the studies that, you know, with married couples, just holding each other's hand, it relieves so much of anxiety.
Yes. Wow.
So this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who is invited to this? Is it young couples, old couples, couples that have been married for donkey years or what?
You know, couples for yoga for couples, should I say, sorry.
Yeah.
Couples for yoga, anyone and everyone should do it.
Yeah.
Because it bonds people, it bonds couple, it strengthens your relationship. Even if you have an argument, you come to yoga, the atmosphere is amazing. There's so much of other people there. And we just, you know, a simple touch, as I said, a look, a smile, it all adds up.
Yeah.
So you just like, you know, there's those exercises, if I put it, those stretches, the poses, it just helps you to relax and you've got your me time together.
Yeah. I think as well, we get so busy that our lives are about our children.
Yes.
And they say most couples either break up when kids move out, then they realize, geez, 30 years later, we've been living for these children. And now they're gone, what do we do with our lives? Now couples end up breaking. And you came up, you told me that maybe you can say it in your own words, because maybe I'm paraphrasing it and I'm not getting it right. Please repeat that statement where you say couples break apart after such years because kids have moved on.
Yes. There was a very interesting article that I read about marriage. And there was there's 2 times when a couple break up. It's in the first year of marriage when they realize that they're not compatible anymore, and they went into marriage not knowing the other person well enough, or they just didn't give the benefit, and that could be lack of communication. And the second reason that couples break off is in the 27th year of marriage, because that is when the last child leaves home. And that's when the couples realize, you know what, my whole life was around the children, taking them to extramurals, school, university, being there, helping each other, and in all this time, it was all about your children and not about your other half. And then when the last child leaves home, you know, there's time, there's nothing to do.
Now there's a whole space.
There's a whole space, and then it's the emptiness.
Yeah.
And what do you do? And you are like already in your like 40s, early 50s.
Yeah.
And so, you know.
Then we get surprised that how is it possible that you've been married for 40 years and you're filing for divorce? Are you crazy?
Exactly.
Jeez.
Yeah. So I think, you know, no matter how much we put our children first and put all their activities and their life forward, we need to make time for us as spouses, as couples as well.
Wow. What made you come to that realization that you want to have this as part of your business, yoga for couples?
There's a friend of mine, I just received a call. We were always in contact, and you know, life happens. And she phoned me and she says, "You'll never believe what happened." And I said, "What?" She said, "After 40 years of marriage, I'm now divorced."
Sure.
And I know the husband and I know her.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh my goodness, there's something that needs to be done, because if it's happening to you, that's someone that's so close to me, how much of other people that I don't know?"
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, maybe this is a good way to bring the bond together, you know, to say, you know what, let's bring that spark back, because there was something when I first fell in love with you, and there was something when I first saw you. So
we can find that again.
Let's find that again.
Yeah.
And it may happen, it may not happen, but that's fine. We tried.
We tried. We did something.
We did something.
Can you say this is therapeutic? Will it work as some sort of therapy?
Most definitely. Because there's always a good atmosphere, and when a couple walks in, it's not only you. There's lots of couples there. There's certain classes where there's like 20, 30 couples. And there's certain classes where there's a few. So there's always, you know, there's someone else in the same boat as you.
Sure. There's always someone that went through what you went through, or what you're going through.
Yes, and sometimes we don't want to speak about it because maybe embarrassment, or, you know, we just don't want anyone to know what we're going through, because we portray this image of, you know, everything is perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, but no one knows, you know, behind the closed doors. You may drive the best of the cars,
but you're
best
still
of the
broken
home.
inside.
Yeah, exactly.
You still be broken inside.
Exactly.
And I think lockdown has shown us that as well, because I still remember they were saying during lockdown the strongest couples stayed, the weakest couples were exposed.
Yes.
Because you wake up in the morning, he's there, she's there. At night, in the afternoon, they. In the evening, they. So you're always in each other's face, and easier when everyone was going to work 8 hours away, then you come back, you're together 2-3 hours, you go to bed, next thing routine again and again. So finding that spark, you say, is the leading force behind you starting yoga for couples. And if people want to sign up for that, how do they get hold of you?
Okay, I can give you my telephone number, Coach. Can I give it on the line?
You can give it on the line, but we're still gonna have it on the description box, so anyone can get in touch with you to sign up.
Yes, you've got my email address. I will give you all my contact details.
Yeah. When do couples start signing up? Is it something that is already going on, or it's something that you're still going to launch?
Well, I have a few couples at the moment that I do couples yoga with, but as more people are interested, and there's no such thing as you start at the beginning of the month. Anytime during the month you want to start, that's fine. It's once a week, and
it's once a week.
It's once a week.
Okay. Then what do people then have some sort of like a homework then to do
until
next week?
No. We all come to the classes. We come with our mats. We do our poses. We do breathing, stretching. And there's a few poses where a lot of things are on trust and communication.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's a pose that I really like where you face your backs towards each other and you just lie on each other. Then you, towards the end of the class, you face each other. We do a few poses where you face each other and you acknowledge your partner and you honor your partner.
Wow. And we haven't done that. It's easy to let go of it because it's a good trait. Then you just, okay, you just go through the day, they take care of the kids, they take the kids to school, and no one has time to say, you know what, thank you, I honor you. That's amazing. That is amazing. Jess, you've been amazing, but before you go, there's another game. There is another game, it's Would You Rather, right? So it's 5 questions, would you rather. You answer them to the best of your knowledge, but we want to know why you chose to be the other one and not the other one.
Okay.
Right. The first one is, would you rather be one thing you never do again? Sorry. Would you rather lose vision or hearing?
Difficult because the senses are that controls us.
Yeah.
I think I would rather lose the hearing because my vision will always, you know, my reading is very important. So I want to read and I want to learn. So, you know, there's always the media, there's always Google, you know, there's always the reading part.
So you read the subtitles. Awesome. Would you rather be someone else or just stay the way you are?
Definitely just stay the way I am.
You're happy with you?
I am happy.
Yes. Would you rather get good news first or bad news first?
But there's no news that is good news or bad news.
Yeah.
I just take everything with the same
Just
ribbon.
don't try to shy away. Which one first?
Okay, I think, the bad news.
Okay.
The bad news, then it prepares myself because I know there's something good coming up.
I see. So like, brace yourself.
Yes,
this is bad, but something else is coming.
Something good is coming up.
Would you rather be filthy rich and would have lived 400 years ago, or be poor and live for today?
You know,
Live in today.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, in the corporate world, I was the accountant. Now I'm a yoga teacher. The bank balance is not as healthy as it used to be.
Yeah.
But I've got everything that I need.
You're fulfilled.
I'm fulfilled.
You are fulfilled.
And I'm a happy person.
I can see from the smile, Jess is happy. Would you rather be mentally or physically never age? So, would you rather be mentally or physically never age?
I think
Aging
mentally.
So you don't want to age mentally. So your body can scramble, but
My brain
your
is
brain
still
will be
there.
18-year-old.
Yes, still there. With the puzzles, with the reading.
Yeah. The last one is fortune or fame. Which one would you rather be? Would you rather have a fortune or you rather have fame? Fortune.
Because I believe I'm a very fortunate person to be living in this era and giving back to society.
Yeah. Wow, awesome. Jess, you've been amazing. But before you leave, what advice would you give to a young couple? A couple that is a year in marriage, 10 years in marriage, and 15 years in marriage.
It would be the same advice,
Okay.
communication.
Wow.
You need to communicate with each other. We all are different people. We all have our good days. We all have our bad days. Those that are having the bad days, you know, the other one needs to support.
Yeah.
Be there for each other. Life is full of challenges. Just be there. You don't have to, you know, buy the best of things. A simple touch is good enough. I know Marlon was probably will laugh at me for this, but a simple touch is.
Wow.
And Coach, as we were talking earlier, you know, on communication, there was a few things that I just jotted down.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, you know, just back to the communication. Seek help when you need help. Because some of us, we don't want to let the other person down. We don't want to let them know that, you know, we are struggling. But a problem shared is a problem halved.
Jeez.
You know, I can go on with lots of other things.
I know, give us. We are here. We are yours.
Yeah, you know, like
Yeah.
respect each other's individuality. We all are different. You know, you may like a red dress. I may not like a red dress.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, just respect that.
Yeah.
You know, practice forgiveness.
Wow.
That's important.
Yeah.
And make time for each other. You know, as we've spoken, you know, life is hectic, full of challenges.
Yeah.
Just make time
Just
for each
make
other.
time.
Just make time
I think
for
if
each
it's important, you make time for it.
other. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, Jess, you've been amazing. Thank you. Any last words from you to whoever that's listening and watching and you name it?
You know, firstly, Coach Stats, thank you for the opportunity. It's been great, and I was extremely nervous, but I'm okay.
Look at you.
I'm okay.
You survived.
You know, just let go. It is difficult. It is difficult. We all know how difficult it is. But just let go and be in the moment. And once you're in the moment, you realize, what's the fuss? You know, just be happy, smile. And in the morning, my wish and my prayer is, may all beings in all universes always be happy.
Wow.
That's something that cannot be bought. It's priceless.
Yeah.
And happiness comes within.
Wow.
A new car is not going to make you happy. It will make you happy for a few moments. A huge mansion, a few moments. And after that,
Back to square one.
back to square one.
Yeah.
It's the happiness.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. Thank you, everyone. If you're still here, you're a legend. Thank you. May you carry on being mentally strong. If you're in marriage, may you carry on perceiving to do better. If you are aspiring to be married, then there is advice from Jess. If you want to do couples yoga, the details are in the description down below. And again, there is a red subscribe button. Please press it because of that, that's how we get this content to the next person. Also the like button, the more people that like this, then YouTube is going to push the video so that more people can see this. Sharing as well with your friends on social media and all the social media platforms also helps us to do the best that we can to bring you content like this, to bring you more people like Jess and people that are making a difference in this life. So from me to you, thank you for the year that we've had. Amazing year, the lessons that have been learned, the investments that have been put into making sure that we bring you the best possible productions. Thank you. I can never thank you enough. Until we meet again, we'll see you guys next week at 9 o'clock. Stay safe, stay healthy, and be mentally strong. Jess.